YouTube, what it do, man? It's your boy Vic coming back at y'all with another video. Today we got something I wanted to talk about for a while, because I keep getting questions both on my Instagram and on my YouTube about just the type of mods that I'm running on this car specifically. So I really wanted to take the time to kind of just break down the mods that I have, the build list to get this car to 700 horsepower. I believe if we're talking about wheels, it's around 680, maybe 690 wheel. So yeah, man, I'm just gonna go over the mods I have to kind of support that. The key word there is support, because realistically you could run 700 wheel or 680 wheel without the mods that I do have. But for me, I like to push the car and know that it could take it. I just don't want to, like, you know, try to push it and have something fail unexpectedly, especially something that is prone to fail, or you know that's gonna fail. Alrighty, so let's start with the basics. As you can see, this is a simple white 340 X drive, right? It's not the rear wheel drive model, it's the X drive. It's a 2016. So the whole goal with this car was to make like a dig monster, right? Cars that could launch, car that could hook and just take off. That was my whole goal with this car, right? So just to start, most important thing is you're gonna need wheels and a sticky tire. I went with Firehawk Indy 500s. They're relatively cheap and they grip very well, especially in the summer. I also went with 17s Apex. I forget what they're called. I think they're ARC 8s or something like that, but they're 17s by 9. I wanted to get the, you know, the lightest wheel possible. These are about 16.5 pounds each wheel, which is insane. This is like lighter than RPF ones, I believe. So that's what I went with. I went with a super sticky wide tire on a small rim, just so I can extract the most potential when it came to tires and wheels. And that's why I got these on. They look perfect, they look amazing. This is like a staple for 340s. Everybody runs these, and for good reason. Plus I swapped out the BMW emblems and it just goes perfect. It almost looks OEM. After looking at the forums and finally getting the wheels situated, I was left with a monstrous ride height. So, you know, I had to get lowering springs. I did want to get coilovers, but I don't know if I was ready to leave the electronic dampening control that comes standard with these cars, right? So when you put on sport, the struts get stiffer, and when you put on comfort, the car is a little bit more bouncier, so it's kind of more enjoyable when you're not really ripping through the streets, right? So I didn't want to get rid of that, so I just did lowering springs. I did H&R sport springs, not the super sport. The super sports are a little too low for me, and I didn't want no rubbing issues, and I wanted no axles popping out, or I didn't want anything to do with suspension issues. So I got the sports. There's still a good amount of gap, but it's perfect. It's like 2 fingers and it's perfect. I've never rubbed, I've never had issues with my suspension. The car has about 80,000 miles now, right? I've owned the car for about 4 years, never had any issues with suspension. So that's where I want it, that's where I want to keep it. I still don't know if I want coilovers or not. That's something that we'll have to touch back on in the future. As of right now though, lowering springs are the way to go. The car feels amazing, it corners very well, it grips, it's everything I need it to be right now. While we're on the subject of wheels, tires, and suspension and stuff like that, the rotors, not really a mod because I kept them like OEM. They're not OEM genuine BMW, but they're FCP Euros. I forget the exact name, but it's like OEM equipment, right? I knew I was gonna be brake boosting. I knew I was gonna be wasting brakes a lot. I didn't want no like ceramic brakes or lightweight brakes, because I know I was gonna be eating through them every 4 or 5 months. So I was like, let me stick with standard OEM equipment, and I could get those replaced through FPC Lifetime Euro program. So that worked out perfectly fine, because on weekends or when I'm going through the drag strip or whatever, I'm constantly braking and I'm just going through those rotors and pads very fast, especially when I'm roll racing and I'm brake boosting. It just goes through the pad and rotor and it warps the rotor. So I didn't want anything expensive on the brakes, just standard equipment, right? Maybe later when I'm pushing 900, 1,000, sure, we'll do something about the brakes. But for now, that's all I needed. And that's pretty much it for suspension. I haven't really touched the suspension too much. I know you could do like control arms, tow arms and all that to the rear and to the front, but I haven't touched that yet, just because I haven't really been focusing too much on you know, taking the car to the drag or doing like a dig. It's been mostly a roll car. I do want to get into that dig racing and stuff like that a little bit more. But yeah, I haven't done much to suspension wise. I do though have a diff brace, because when I was stock turbo and I was doing a lot of dig racing, the car would kind of feel sloppy in the rear. So I just needed to get something that would stiffen it up, and that was pretty much what did the trick. And that right there is the diff brace that I kind of went with. It did fine. I know there's better ones out there, but this one did the trick for stock turbo. But yeah, that was pretty much the only other suspension mod that I have. As you can see, I am running a single exit Tommy exhaust. I'll get more into that later. Well, that does it for suspension, wheels, tires, right? And like I said, you don't need that to really push 700, right? But the key word was support, and that just kind of makes the experience a lot better and just supports all around the car with what you want to achieve, right? Especially with 700 horsepower. So those are the things that I needed. They were like must-haves: tire, wheels, diff brace, and lowering springs. Those are the basics. Like, you cannot go wrong. Now, I don't really want to go into the cosmetic mods of the car, because I mean, you really don't need none of the cosmetic mods, but I will go over them really quick, really fast. I did the M Performance strip. That wasn't there. I just kind of added that vinyl on there, and then I added a carbon fiber side skirt. And then when we come around to the front, I did the fangs, carbon fiber fangs, and the regular, I don't know what the brand is called, there's so many out there. I got all of this from eBay, by the way, and it was you know, it wasn't cheap, but you know, it's a lot cheaper than what the other websites are asking for. So yeah, I also got PPF on the headlights. I know when I got the car, I should have just got the whole front end or maybe the fenders, but I kind of just missed that. I was going all performance. So, but yeah, I got some PPF on the headlights. Let's see, other cosmetic mods. I did have the carbon fiber M caps, but I did not like the M caps because it just, I don't know, it made the car want to look like an M. I just didn't like that. Like, this car is a 340, is not trying to be an M. I want to keep it that way. And I think the white just looks so good. Like, the Alpine white looks so good. I don't want to add too much like black to it or too much carbon, because it takes away from the color. So yeah, the less carbon always looks better for me. I don't know why. I like the OEM plus look, but this is just enough. I went with the gloss black grill because they're super cheap. They're like $20 on Amazon, and they fit good. Plus, I didn't want carbon because this is like the #1 thing that gets chipped by rocks and stuff, and it just replacing it's like $200 for a grill. Like, it just doesn't make sense. These are $20 on Amazon or eBay, and they're super cheap and easy to replace, and they look good. So win-win for me. Other than that, I don't have anything in the rear specifically besides the diffuser. I know that you can get some side fangs here. I did not want that. It just looks kind of tacky because it doesn't go with the rear diffuser. But the diffuser I have is another eBay diffuser. I don't know if you could see it there. The shadow kind of hits it, but don't mind that, of course. But yeah, it was another eBay diffuser. Looks great with the Tommy though. Other than that, that's pretty much it for cosmetic mods. Now, getting to the meat of the video. This right here is what costs the most, hands down. Like, I already have a video on my KLM 6870 turbo kit. Let me just get out the way real quick. But yeah, this turbo is amazing. I love it. The lag is there, obviously, but that's because I don't have a built engine, so it's kind of like there's a lot of room for that turbo. This kit is beautiful though. Like, KLM did an amazing job. Although it was really hard to get it on, they did an amazing job. I got all the bells and whistles, the heat blanket, all the heating lines. I also got the jet fighter mod, or whatever it's called, fighter jet mod. So it sounds insane. Last time in the other videos I had, I think I had a coupler here. I actually took it to a fabricator, and he fabricated the charge pipe, so that's why it looks like that. But yeah, no more coupler. I have one of these HD clamps on it now, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that turbo is rated for 1100 horsepower, I believe, so I still got a lot of room to go on that. So I'm not really worried too much about the turbo. I was worried about the manifold though, and the last video I believe I showed was I had a stock manifold with that big turbo, and everybody was judging me on my IG page. Like, how are you gonna run a big turbo with a stock manifold? And they were right. That was true. Like, how am I gonna get any type of power when the stock manifold can like break around 32, 33 psi? So I decided to get an EOS billet aluminum manifold. That is insane, bro. Like, the IATs are insane. When I tell you they're like 15 under ambient, like when it's cold out, it's kind of crazy. But you know, after you start doing some pulls and stuff like that, it kind of gets more like 15 over, and it stays there. It doesn't go over 15, 20 degrees over ambient, right? So if it's 75 outside, it maybe goes up to about 90, 95, and it stays there. I haven't seen over on a hot summer day, I haven't seen over 100 IATs yet, and I've been beating on this car. So that's definitely doing its job. So we have big turbo, upgraded manifold, no weak points here with no couplers, HD clamps, right? All that is beautiful, right? And on top of that, I also have a CSF front mount heat exchanger. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. That as well is stated to lower IATs, but I didn't really see a huge difference. All I noticed was it was a pain to bleed that CSF heat exchanger. Like, bro, I took like 3 weeks bleeding that car. Like, it was insane. It was a headache. I almost went back to stock, right? But it's just because I didn't know the procedure on how to bleed that CSF. It was just a lot. Now we have the big turbo, we have the cooling mods to support it, right? We have the custom tune, right? Shout out Doug. We have the custom tune. Now we need fueling. So on top of this manifold, I have 750cc injectors that go right on top of the rail, so it's easy to service and just check if anything goes bad, right? I also have a Dorch stage 2 pump, because although you could push the stock pump with this setup and go, you know, port and not really strain the DI, I wanted just a bigger pump just to have it. Also, I had it when it was stock turbo, so I didn't want to get rid of it. Now you have the turbo, you have cooling, you have the tune, and you have the fuel. The way I control the tune and control everything else is this magic little box here. That's what I call the Pandora's box, or Reflex Pro. That's what powers this beast. That's what controls this beast, and a lot of other cars. I know all the world record breaking cars are using Reflex. I know there's some Max ECU now, and there's like Rev 2 from Boot Mod 3, but we're still Reflex. So Gen 1 just kind of got the Reflex Plus, so we're chilling. We'll continue to use that for now. We'll see what the future holds. Now to get to the mods I don't have, right? So all those mods that I just listed realistically could support the car up to about 800, 850 to about the stock limits of the engine, right? All that could support it. The one thing I'm missing in order to push that power where I'm at the limit or the mercy of the stock engine is a trans. That's the only thing I'm missing. If I had a trans, stage 2, stage 1 even, I could realistically push the car to like 850 and just be at the mercy of the stock motor. That's all I need. And hopefully this summer, fingers crossed, I'm on my way to get it. Hopefully. We'll see what the future holds. There's a couple other things I do want to do with the car, but the trans is just a must. I need it. I need that. Also, before I go ahead, I forgot to list, I do have a low pressure fuel pump. I actually have a video on it. I don't know how I forgot that. I have the low pressure fuel pump from Precision Raceworks. It's the stage 4, I believe, so it's rated for about 1,000 on E85. So realistically, this car is set. This car is ready, bro. This car is ready to hang with the big boys. It just needs a trans and an engine, the most expensive things on a build. But with the stock trans, you know, I'm having fun. I'm beating a good amount of cars. I'm having fun. The car feels good, sounds good. I'm just not pushing the trans too much, so I'm making like 680 and like maybe like 580, 590 torque. Keeps the trans happy. I'm not the fastest. I know you could push the car up to like 720 and like, you know, 650 torque, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna do the trans, right? And it's cheaper and a lot easier to just get the hard parts kit, do it yourself and not have to worry about having a blown trans, having to clean the valve body, clean the whole trans, and then see what else you messed up in there. So I'm taking the slow and long route, but it's gonna be worth it, because not only am I gonna learn how to install a trans and do just the basics right, it's gonna be a lot easier because I don't have to clean anything or, like, you know, replace any broken parts. So that's my mindset when it comes to getting the trans. But yeah guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope I touched on everything, and maybe you guys do still have questions. You guys could just leave those in the comments, or you guys could reach out to my IG. It's gonna be in the video, and it's also gonna be on my banner. So that's gonna do it guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like or subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'm chilling. It's a nice beautiful day out here.